for the recordings. The recordings are usually not very good on a liberating structure session. So I'm not trained, full disclosure, I'm not trained formally in liberating structures. I found them in my action learning, design thinking journey as effective ways to effective ways to activate the collaborative intelligence of a group, which means more than one person. Right. So when you have more than one person, now you're in collaborative intelligence, meaning like there's an intelligence that can potentially even go beyond the two individuals' intelligence. It's like, you know, that saying like where two or more are gathered. Yeah, it's that. So that's what often what you find, the more you play around with liberating structures, the more you practice them, the more you bring them into your life, into your family, into your friendships, meaning you just practice different structures. You're always doing a structure with people. This is the thing that you find out after you practice liberating structures, is you start to see there's a structure to everything. There's a structure to like bullshitting and whining. I was in that structure this morning. I was with someone and they were like, kind of like bullshitty, whiny. And I was like, this structure's not working for me. I need to be in silence right now. Yeah, I said it in a really nice way. And it was like so good. It like tuned her right in. So we start to realize the more we play with liberating structures that there's always a structure. The more we understand how to spot a structure, to see it, the easier it is to actually start to choose how to structure collaborative intelligence, right? So that in any group you're in any situation you're in, you can play these are almost like games that start to activate collaborative intelligence. You can also use them to solve problems, hard problems, sticky problems, ugly problems, the worst problems, when things really aren't working. With teams, with family. I mean, I've used these with my parents and child. So that's my little intro to liberating structures. Like I said, I'm a hack and I'm a blender, meaning I'm going to blend stuff from all over the place whenever I want. So that's my, that's me. There might be other people leading liberating structures all here that are purists. And that's good too. It's all good. There's lots of different types of structures. So a lot of liberating structures, a lot of what they figured out, these people came from Worldwide Association of Action Learning and design thinking and like little startups and trying to figure out how to get teams activated to, you know, basically on the corporate side to build product better, faster. And then they found it was just applicable everywhere. Also in just groups that are trying to learn as much as do. So it's not just the outcome, but it's the process along the way. So they're highly, highly interactive. All right, so without further ado, we will do our first structure. The first structure is a 1, 2, 4, all. I'm just going to teach you the structure. And then the important thing is to understand that the structure itself is just a structure, and you can plop, it's not a very nice verb, but we'll go with it. You can plop any question or problem into a structure. Some structures work better than other structures, basically. Some structures work better than other structures. So what we're gonna do here, whoops, I'm gonna pull up the 1, 2, 4, all. Sorry, I thought I had that right ready. So the way of 1, 2, 4, all, this is a structure where the first minute you have self-reflection. So we'll do that with our question, which I'll give you in a second. Oops, so this is 1 minute. And then in pairs, you'll each have 2 minutes. We'll do it this way. And then we're gonna put your pairs with another pair. So Casey, if that is impossible, let me know. But if possible, we wanna keep those pairs together. And then when we're in groups of 4, the group of 4 will have a total of 4 minutes. And in the group of 4, and I'll prompt you guys with this along the way. In the group of 4, we're noticing similarities and differences. And I'm going to keep this up. Okay. So when we're doing it, you're going to be able to see this. I think you'll still be able to see this on the screen. And we'll give you like little bells and whistles and broadcasts and announcements to tell you what you should be doing when. So like, if like you don't want to think at all, don't worry. You don't really have to think. We'll just tell you what to do next. Okay. So it's a 1, 2, 4, and then we'll all get back in the same room and we'll all talk. And what we're trying to do here is find out this. This is the question that we're plopping in to the structure. Is what is your desired outcome for today's session? All right, so we're gonna set a timer for 1 minute and you can go ahead. And then Casey, you could just get it ready on the back end to put them in pairs. All right, and now we're gonna go into groups. Oh, and in groups, you'll each have 2 minutes. As soon as we're in groups, I'll set our timer, and the first person will just talk about their desired outcomes. If the person stops in that 2 minutes, just say, tell me more. Tell me more. Tell me more. Tell me more about desired outcome. Because you can go to different levels of depth of like, why is it that specific outcome? Okay, here we go. We're gonna go into pairs.
In pairs, Kate, is it 2 minutes each?
Yeah, 2 minutes each.
Thanks.
Yeah, you bet. And I'll put that in the chat too. Casey, let me know if you have any issue putting people in breakouts now. Oh, there you go. See you guys.
Okay, let's see. I think someone just joined. Oh, okay, we're good. Oh, someone is assigned, so I'm assigning this one to me. Yeah, hold on. I have to close all rooms again because Megan just joined.
Oh, you can just there's a way of
Let's.
you can just I think you can just like hand put them in a room. You can just assign rooms if you go to the manual. I think I might be able to do it. We can or we can just do it here, you guys. Let's just do that.
Now let's go to the message.
Oh, it looks like it's just like it's just Megan, right?
Yeah, and room 1 has 3 participants because it was odd earlier.
And Shay is not joined in room 5.
Yeah. I think I can just join the team in room 5 for now.
Megan, do you go to that by Megan or Arpita?
I keep meaning to change that in my main settings. Sorry about that.
You're not on Facebook, right?
I am Megan McDonald.
Oh, McDonald. Oh
Yep.
my gosh, we have so much to talk about.
Yeah, should I just put her in room 5?
No, you can leave her. Just see what's going on with Shay. Why she's not in, or just, it looks like Angie's hanging out in 5 alone. Just go into 5, move yourself to 5 and see what's going on. And then don't sweat it. And yeah. Okay, so they're all gonna switch now. This is part of the challenge with breakout room, with liberating structures. Sometimes it works really great. And then other times, let's see. Other times it's like, oh boy. Let's see, how do I?
Shay is still in the main.
Huh.
She hasn't joined anyone.
Are you going to be able to keep their groups at, we'll probably be able to keep their groups at 2 and add 2, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, you'll be able to figure that out. Okay, great. And then can you broadcast to them to switch if they haven't already switched? And now Shay's back here. What happened to Megan?
She's already in room 5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but Shay hasn't joined.
Let's see. I wonder if we can just message her. Oh, well.
Yeah,
How's
or
it going?
probably she's in her phone.
Oh,
that way. And, you know, we talk about that in marketing. You've got to have the right words. So it's always helpful to do this. I think it's fascinatingly helpful to do this.
so you're saying on the talking side too,
Yeah.
of just like developing more vocabulary.
Right.
One thing that popped out for me as well was this idea. When you first said that, I thought, well, I'm coming into YHC and that's an opportunity in itself. But then I also was like, but more people in my community are seeking me out and asking me to come talk to them. I'm like, well, that's another one. And then I went, well, what's the opportunity behind both of those? And that opportunity is the bigger one. And that's to be seen in my community and to be ready to be seen.
How many had that exact opportunity? I'm just curious. Because it came up with Mercedes and the group I was in, it was both of Martha and Mercedes. Yeah. So that's fascinating. That's definitely in our collective, our big coming out party.
Well, for myself in that direction, I find that going through the whys often end up that I have the opportunity to accomplish what I'm here to do on earth during this time life for myself. So it's like, oh my God, I'm going to accomplish what I want to do. Holy shit. Like it feels like so satisfying and it just brings me to tears in a joyful way. But
Ways to know you're on the right track. Lynn and I go way back. Okay, awesome. So 9Y structure, we're going over a little bit with our all, and you know, like I said, I bend the rules all the time. So where are you going to use this WISE question this week? I just want popcorn style, like where's one place you commit to using it?
My group.
My good one. Group.
help with
Group
the
for
hard
me as well.
In strategy sessions.
Good one.
Sessions and group.
With my kids.
Bam.
In my
Okay, good.
relationship
So
with
anytime
my
a conversation's not going towards, oh, go ahead.
I just said in my relationship with my sister, because I'm going over the habits with her.
Great. So I'm just going to end this one with like, anytime you're in a situation and you want to plumb for depth, like where, you know, and you're just dancing around the surface and you can structure it. So I'm just, again, like I'm doing a little bit of like liberating structures, teaching it and leading us through it. The way that I will do that, like you can just kind of randomly start doing it, but a more powerful way is to build a little bit of a container of like, hey, it sounds like this is really important. Like what I knew this really cool structure. It's called 9 Whys. And for the next 5 minutes, I'm just going to ask you why, so that you can get really in touch with this opportunity. Or say it's a problem. I mean, you know, basically a lot of things group into like opportunities and problems. Some people would say it's the same thing. So you could insert the word problem. And then you could, you know, why is that a problem? Why is that a problem? Why is that a problem? And then you can keep going. So anytime you are stuck on the surface. Okay, 9 Whys plums for depth. So we're going to do this fun little thing, I thought. Might be fun. And it's a hack. Again, I'm a structure hack, so bear with me. It's celebrity interview. I'm combining two things here. One is a celebrity interview where you get to interview somebody on their opportunity. Now, I'm combining it with, it's a form of voice dialogue where you talk to a future self. Has anyone ever done this? You talk to yourself in the future? Okay, so this is kind of wild. You guys know that about me by now. So what you can do is access another level of the shadow or the subconscious mind in a very positive way. And that opens up the opportunity even more. That's my hope. We'll see if it works. It's worked wonders on other people. So what we're going to do is we're going to be in groups of 3. We're going to be in groups of 3. Everyone's going to have 7 minutes, and then we'll have like a minute to like wrap up and switch. So the whole thing will take about 25 minutes. And the question is what happened from taking this opportunity? So again, you were talking to who? You're talking. Yeah, go ahead.
Our future self.
Yeah.
1 year.
So here you are. You took the opportunity and it's 1 year into the future. Yep. So it's your future self. That's the guest. And then what you're doing as the guest is you're answering 1 year from the future of like the best possible outcomes that happened from your best desired outcomes that happened from taking this opportunity. And then again, the talk show host. So it's role playing. That's what this one is. This is a role play, which is good. It's very good to be able to role play. I mean, a lot of companies now are doing improv workshops with their employees to get people to get out of their box, out of their personality style, to get just out a little bit more freedom in the self, essentially. And so you each get to play all 3 roles, and you'll switch through those roles. So one person's going to be the talk show host. The other person's going to be the guest, who is you, having taken the opportunity 1 year into the future. And the other person is going to be the audience member, who also may have questions. So think of like Oprah style. You know how there's people on stage and there's Oprah and she's got the mic and then she takes questions from the audience? You got that? So the guest that gets to like sit back and come up with like the most fascinating questions because you're just interested in what else happened. Okay? Questions on the structure?
Yeah, the time for each thing.
Yeah, so you each get 7 minutes to be the guest.
Okay, thanks.
You each get 7 minutes to be the talk show. You each get 7 minutes to be the audience member, and then we'll just switch. So the whole thing will take about 25 minutes. Good? Okay. We'll form, and you guys can help each other figure it out. Again, with these, like, go for getting it, go for good enough if you feel like getting it right is too confusing. Okay, here we go. See ya.
Wait, it's just us.
All right. Did I kick anyone out? I pressed the wrong button. I tried to leave meeting and I ended up leaving the whole thing. Okay, hopefully not. All right, so we'll chat while everyone's getting back in here. Celebrity interviews, there's a lot going on there. And then there's a lot going on with the future self talking from the moment. So it's all fair game. Where do you guys want to start?
So much fun. So much fun. I mean, I was saying I love role playing. I love what came out. I love how everyone grew as you spoke to them. I love the way my idea blossomed from some of the questions. So thank you to my group members. And it was a really fun one when we're talking about sharing, because I've shared Liberating Structures. This is a great one. I think it'll be fun to share with my members. I mean, they'll love it.
Great.
Good hack, Kate.
I found for me when I spoke about what it was like 12 months ago, it was in relation to my daughter, but it was putting to bed what's happening now. And I could clearly say, this is what it was like. I had an opportunity to say, design how I want it to be in 12 months time. And my crew asked me questions that helped me, like Leah said, blossom the future of where I wanted to be and how I wanted to go. So powerful, so much fun. And to actually leave an opportunity that's not going so well with a teenage daughter to actually say, this is what it was, and this is how I want to be and how I want it to grow. Just awesome. Thanks, Kate. I'm going to use it with my crew.
Are you going to use it with her? That'd be so fascinating to have her do it. That'd be.
Yeah. Actually, thank you.
Yeah, sure. Sorry, I had to add that in. Okay, anyone else? Anything on what we just did as a structure? So celebrity interviews and then messing with the time perception.
I have a comment, Kate. I was really not wanting to do this. And, I'm
shocked. You're so fun.
I know.
So was it just kind of weird? Like, it's just like a weird new thing, or?
I think it's the topic itself is I've been wrestling with it for so long. And I was like, I just don't want to talk about it. But because I had to and put myself in the future, it allowed me to open up about it and have the enthusiasm about it and be like really happy with the way that the problem solved itself. And that was really shocking to me how much I wanted to leave, but then I was already in the breakout room and I was going to escape and I didn't. And I
showed up.
I went you showed up. I was like, shit.
He was.
Yeah, but it was just really interesting. It was a real kind of psychological shift for me.
Yeah, cool.
I have to say it was very difficult for me to stay in the future. I kept bouncing back to.
Did anyone else have trouble? Like role playing doesn't necessarily come as natural. Okay. Yeah, that's okay. So good to notice that. No problem. My experience with this is, has anyone done this in the past and gotten better at role playing or improv, any kind of improv type structure? Yeah. Okay. So that's good to know. Go ahead.
Way easier to role play someone who's not me.
Yes, exactly what I was going to say.
What about you in the future? Could you role play you in the future better than you now? No. Growing edge.
I find it difficult to know the difference between the talk show host and the person asking the questions. Like presenting it was.
Oh, the talk show host was asking the questions, and then the guest could just kind of ask additional questions. Kind of.
Gotcha.
In a typical talk show, it's like you have the host and then there's an audience, but the host takes questions from the audience.
Yeah, that's kind of what happened.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, similar to Leah, as a result of that, I got a couple of new whys on, why I'm facing the opportunity I am. So that was really, really useful. Generally deepening process. Yeah, really good.
Good. Anyone else have that? You got either more excited? Sounds like Romy got more excited. It sounds like Jeff got more clear. Anything else in that vein of like how it can ripen an opportunity or has an effect on the opportunity itself?
I think it helped me to think bigger, especially going after Leah, because she was brilliant.
I bet. I can see Leah loving this. That's great. There's a little in there too. There's another structure I just want to bring up, Martha, and then we'll give you the mic. It's called plussing. And plussing is a natural thing that happens when the future self gets the microphone. Because the present self wouldn't say such things often. So plussing is where you take something that was like really good and you make it even greater. So that's its own, that comes from design thinking. It's an exploratory technique before prototyping. And it's really important to do is like to really blow it out. See how blow out the opportunity as big as it gets, right? Before it kind of pops. And then when it pops, you're just like, yeah, that was too big. But then it gives you a sense of like, it actually expanded you in the process. Then when you shrink it back down, you're like, I'm playing small, even though it's the biggest opportunity for me. So that happens. Yeah, go ahead, Martha.
Yeah, I felt that. I felt definitely the plussing. And then they asked really good questions that got me to get more honed in on what was the path that got me to be able to plus there with the questioning. And I felt like a little bit of just kind of a jolt with that. Like, oh, I got to think about the trajectory kind of thing and be able to articulate what it was that actually transpired for me to have this bigger vision. So that was helpful.
Good. Could anyone get more in the spirit of it? I heard that a little bit in both Romy and Jeff, where you're like more in the spirit of the opportunity itself from being in the future self.
Yes.
So that's important, right? So it's able to access the spirit of the opportunity and act from the spirit of the opportunity. Just raise your hand if you got that. And for some of you who got wrapped up in role playing and it was hard, don't worry, it'll happen. Okay, good. So over half. Good. That's a good similarity, right? Because if you know that you can do that with a structure and you've got something to do and you're not in the spirit of it, you call a couple of accountability partners and you say this is the opportunity. This is the structure. We need 25 minutes, right? And now we're going to pivot because we got to wrap up here. So we did a few different structures. We did the basic 1, 2, 4, all to some degree or another. We did the 9 whys, and then we did celebrity interviews where we played with role playing. We use timers. So any comments now, we'll just end, and usually liberating structures sessions end with a little short discussion on structures themselves and how to use structures in your life so that you have that you access more collaborative intelligence in any of your relationships or to do whatever you're trying to do with your opportunities.
May I share one more time? So I'm getting together with the group so the thing is I'm trying to put together this peace posse. And so I am putting it together starting on Friday. And I was going to do plussing and work on plussing and work on that with them and work on it beforehand. And one of the persons who said, we're getting together, but I want it to be fun. So we're doing it as a celebrity interview and it's going to be so much fun. And we'll do the plussing because it naturally happens. It happened to at least half of us. So that's my takeaway from today. So
Great.
Excited.
One of my big takeaways is sorry, is how one of my biggest takeaways is I've been struggling with how to take the liberating structures out of corporate language and corporate, because the way they're presented is very much about like the corporate world and business and stuff, and like how to translate them into what will work for my groups. So this was really helpful. Thank you.
Good. Yeah. And it's like the more you get into them, it's like, oh, they're really written for teams that are working on something, solving that problem together, which translates great to families or any organization, nonprofits, like any team trying to get something done, right? And that's where a lot, especially the more complex structures, really go more in that direction. So yeah, I'm always trying to like translate, how do we make it? Because we're all working on our own things, right? And I think that's what Ali's really addressing here, is like, you got to bend and twist some of the structures to work in
and
these
customizing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's I find these liberating structures, they're so new to me. It's a little bit stressful. It gives me anxiety. The timer just gives me anxiety. And at the end, I got so excited, and it was, you start getting into it little by little, but at first I can't stop looking at the clock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay. That's just part of it. At some point you'll get it, We do these at our live events. We'll do them for like 3 days. And then by then you kind of get used to it. And then if you're in the middle of saying something and the time runs, you're like, it just switches to the next person. What starts to happen is and sometimes you can sense it's happening. It may have happened a little on the 9 whys. Like, it doesn't matter who's talking, right? You're just going into the conversation, and that's where you're really starting to access more of the collaborative intelligence. Okay, cool. Final thoughts, anything, liberating structures, anything we did today?
I just really needed this. I've taken off the entire week to focus on YHC because I feel like I'm so behind, but I'm at a crescendo right now in life, and I just think that this is exactly what I needed, and thank you so much. I usually don't do this liberating structure calls, but they're pretty powerful too. So I'm going to start making these calls as much as I can and watch the recordings also. Thank you so much for jumping in and doing this one for us, Kate.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well done, everyone. My challenge to you is to use one of these in the next couple of days. That's how they become part of your normal reality. And soon you don't even realize that you're using them. They become quite informal, or you can make them quite formal. But boy, they're super powerful. Awesome. Thanks for coming. Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
everyone. So fun.
Yay.
Thank you.
You bet. See you in the next one.